Hello and welcome to episode 10 of DealerPod, the podcast where we talk to motor trade experts nationwide to find out about their businesses and gain any insights that they may have to help you with your car sales operation. My name's Stephen, and as always, I'm joined by Scott and Martin. And today's guest is the very popular Irish car dealer, owner of Brady's Leash. I'd like to welcome to the podcast, Mr. Oli Brady. How are you doing, Ollie? You okay?
That's good to be here, Stephen. Thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me in. Hi, Martin. Hi, Scott.
How are you doing?
It's a very snowy, cold Ireland at the moment. We've been struggling all week with the weather, really.
Yeah.
What's it like with you?
It's absolutely...
I've got my long johns on.
Show us.
Ollie, we just got... we just had some new offices installed at our site in there. We used to work out of like quite small porta cabins, and now we've got large porta cabins, and that it's absolutely freezing because they're huge, these offices, and obviously just we've got these oil-filled radiators and trying to warm the place up. Honestly, it's
about 3 o'clock.
It's cooler than here than it is in the fridge. I'd rather sit in a fridge. It's
my office at work is a shipping container converted into an office.
All right.
Whatever fucking idiot made it, he didn't insulate it. Insulate it properly. But I got a Chinese diesel heater humming in the background, and it's fantastic. Right. I don't know if you know about them, but this thing, you could roast a turkey. It's unreal.
Really?
It's unreal. So it's like it's beautiful. My office is like a sauna. It's wonderful.
Really?
Customers come in and they go, "My God!" I go, "Yeah, sit down. Let's talk." It's beautiful.
If you're not having it, I'll switch it off.
Yeah. And it just costs 33 cents an hour to run. How cheap is that?
Cheap?
Yeah.
You may not have sent me the link for that. I may not get a couple of them myself.
So sorry about the hat. Yeah. So it's been very cold all week. And I said to my wife, "Oh my God, this is going to kill sales." And no, it was actually very good for sales this week because I think we got 6 or 7 sold. And we have another two viewings today. And then we have Kieran, my main technician, is flat out in the workshop, turning stuff around, and we're getting stuff retested. So a very good start to the first week of the year because you know the importance of cash flow. If you get a good start, you can bank that money, go out and buy stock, rinse and repeat very quickly. I remember one year I made this massive mistake of sold a load of stuff in December, thought, this is great. Now I got a load of money in the bank. I'm gonna buy a load of stuff in January. And then January come, I couldn't get any stuff bought. Yeah. Either just pure bad supply, stuff was so expensive. And it took me like 5 or 6 weeks to get stock levels back to where I wanted to be. And I remember never make that mistake again. I always try and have as much. So we started off great. We filled the yard with stock. Probably too much in the sense that prep is always a problem. I always admire, Scott, your prep processes, the way you can get through stuff and get it out there, and then your sales process is lovely. But prep is always a problem for me. But I always find when I talk to other dealers, I'm not exclusive in that. Every other dealer you speak to, prep. I've got 30 cars.
Yeah, oddest thing.
I got 30 cars. Sorry about this. Why didn't I put my phone on silent? I got 30. Now there you go. Everyone's the same. And what I find interesting is when I talk to other dealers, whether they're in Ireland or the UK, everyone's got the same challenges. Everybody. It's eerie. I remember Jamie Capel, classic guy, great guy. I bought a car off Jamie Capel. Well, the story was, it's about 4 or 5 years ago. I bought a little recovery truck, which I still have, which is an excellent recovery truck from Eddie Rawson. You know Eddie Rawson?
I've heard the name.
Great guy. Shout out to Eddie. And then I drove up from Eddie. I think he's in Loughborough. I drove up to Jamie and bought a little Kia. And Jamie's funny. Brought me into his office, and we had this hour-long conversation. He didn't make me any tea, though. I remember I never got a brew, and he kept promising me a brew, but it never materialized. And we had this kind of bizarre conversation about all the challenges he's had in starting and growing his business, and then the ongoing challenges he had. I had the exact same. Even though I'm a guy in a different country, different jurisdiction, And Jamie, I don't think Jamie's ever been to Ireland. But I used to be in the UK all the time buying stock. I used to buy millions of quid's worth of gear. I had BCA in Mannheim. But we had this, and we were just sitting there laughing at each other, going, "This is fucking bizarre conversation about, bullshit, like and challenges, personal challenges, financial challenges, cash flow, staff, prep, everything. It's just amazing, So I thought it was amazing. It was just eerie, weird.
It's universal, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So how are you set up there, Ollie? Then obviously you've got your forecourt. Have you got prep center, or do you outsource it?
Yeah.
What's the challenges there?
Yeah, we outsource most of our valet. Valet is always a problem. Getting staff for valet is a problem, particularly here. And we do all mechanical prep on site. I invest heavily in prep. My warranty comeback's quite low because I'm quite good on prep. Like I always say, if you're charging proper money for a vehicle, prep the bloody vehicle properly. Yeah. And that way you'll have less warranty, it'll go through the test quicker. Customers you'll get better customer retention. People will enjoy their vehicles more and the experience. So I'm not shy on prep. I always throw money at vehicles. And my top technician, Kieran, is on the ball. Like he's not afraid to order parts and put them to a vehicle. We're very lucky. His brother owns a motor factors as well, so he turns around stuff quite quickly.
Right.
Yeah. So cosmetic prep is always a problem. We outsource paint. I'd love to have my own paint guy on site, but it's there's a lot of regulations now about booths and ovens and stuff. So, but yeah, paint prep is an issue. But I'm a very good guy, probably with me 20 years, good friend, and he's not far, so we drop cars to him all the time in vans.
So what sort of, how many cars you got in Stockton, Ollie, and how many staff do you have? What sort of
look, I'm by no means what I call Joe Duffy Motors, which is the biggest dealer in Ireland. Like I'm a smaller guy. Like we have 20 to 25 retail online, and probably another 20 in behind waiting to be prepped.
Right.
I think I had 50 vehicles at Christmas all over the place, parked everywhere. And my yard could be bigger. The problem is I had this exact conversation with someone before Christmas. If I went to expand, I'd need more space, I'd need more staff, I'd need more this, I'd need more that. And it just really what it is more stress. And I'm turning 50 next month. So do I need all that stress? I'm happy where I am. I never set out to be huge. I'm happy where I am. I quite enjoy what I'm doing, ironically, because it is quite stressful, but I do quite enjoy what I do,
Right. Yeah. Well, it's the same problem all over, isn't it? Do you just sit and just be happy with what you've got and push along, or do you go for it and employ more staff and get a bigger office and get bigger bills? And it's a tough one, isn't it?
I think we could double in size. We could actually triple in size. I reckon we could up our product, up our profile of stock. We could do a lot of. I could take on extra debt. Well, when I say extra debt, I mean I'm very, very lucky in that I have no debt in my business. I self-funded myself pretty much all the way. I never took on debt, and I'm glad of that. I've been offered funding solutions by a couple of funders. Reps come in, I just sit down and listen to them, but I just go, not up for it. Like I don't want to work for a bank. I don't want to line other people's pockets, and I don't want to be under pressure. I don't want to like if I take in a car or a van and it doesn't sell for 6 months, I don't really care. It'll sell. I'll get a margin. I don't worry about it. I'm not lying in bed at night one eye open worrying, is that Audi going to sell? It'll sell, Stuff sells. There's a bum for every seat. So quite lucky not to be under the kibosh with anybody. We're debt free and loving it.
What about Auto Trader on Ireland? Is it the same kind of exactly the same as the UK version, or is it slightly different?
No. So what it is, Scott, is there's no Auto Trader in Ireland really. I think Auto Trader were here and they owned. I think they had a presence here and they owned some sort of advertising medium. I don't think they're here anymore. So basically what you got is it's a bit fragmented. So in the UK it's just Auto Trader, isn't it? Auto Trader is the place to be, and then there's probably eBay, and there's what else is there? eBay, and then there's probably Car Gurus and
Rodars and all the rest of it.
Okay, so here it's primarily CarZone, which is like the place you want to advertise your flash and your premium, aspirational stuff. Then there's Cars Ireland, which is again where you want to sell your flash and your premium stuff and your bit of bread and butter as well. And then there's a site called Done Deal, which is pretty much for everything, but not so much the flash. It's more bread and butter, cars and vans. And it's the big one. 2.2 million visitors a week, they claim. The problem with Done Deal is it used to be a very good, nifty little site, which was quite cheap to use and very effective. They were bought out. I think they've been bought out now twice from the original owner. And every time when something's bought out, the prices go up because the investors want their money back. And not only are they got expensive, and I actually hope someone in Done Deal sees this, because they actually need a rain check. They're incredibly arrogant to deal with. And every dealer you speak to says this. Done Deal are so arrogant. They're kind of like, you need us more than we need you. And how dare you question something? And price? Don't care about your complaints about price. And they're quite arrogant. I'm not. My sales rep is fine. I mean it's as a company.
Yeah.
Which is quite annoying considering the amount of money we give them. But we're on there, it does work, and it doesn't work. Sometimes I have this kind of conflict where, and I think every car dealer in the UK has the same quandary where they'd say, I'd love to fuck off Auto Trader. I'd love to fuck them off and stop giving them X amount of money per month. But you can't.
Yeah.
You're kind of like...
You buy the short and curlies, Ollie, haven't they?
Necessary evil.
Now, what I would like to do... Yeah.
Sorry, Ollie. In comparison to an auto... I don't know if you know how much Auto Trader's costs or what have you, but in comparison to an Auto Trader package, what are Done Deal? Are they very similar? Is it cheaper or what?
Yeah, well, I've one friend who spends $1,500 a month with them. Okay, and you're probably going to go, I think he has probably 40, 50 cars online. And you're probably going to go, oh, that's not a lot of money. But remember, the Irish market's a lot smaller than the UK.
Cool.
You got 64 million people. We got 5 million people. So when you look at a pro rata, when you put a car onto Auto Trader in the UK, you got a national audience, including Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
You got a UK audience of probably 65, 66 million people potentially. I'm not saying they're all car buyers.
Yeah.
But you got that kind of region audience. So Done Deal reaches 2.2 million. They claim every week or something along those lines. So look, their price is going to be lower. I've got friends spending $1,500 a week, $1,500 a month with them. I spend about probably $500 or $600 a month with them. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. It's fragmented. In the UK, it's Auto Trader, and I from reading posts on CDSG for years on Car Sales Dealer Group, where we all are, I think, aren't we? We're all a part of that.
Yeah.
And shout out to Car Sales Memes and Phil Lal and Jamie and all there. Keep it running. I'm an admin there as well. And I met so many good people over the years, like yourselves. But in Ireland, it's fragmented. So you've CarZone, you have Cars Ireland, you have Done Deal, and there's a smattering of other small ones. But the three big ones there. So if you're spending 700 each with them, 600-700 each with them, 1,500 here, whatever. Like we've a friend there who spends 60 grand a year on advertising on all the sites and everything across Ireland. It really depends on the stock you have, where you're positioned, what your available budget you make available, all these things. But it's gotten expensive. And I think what I'd like to do this year is try and explore a blend of other avenues. Like I'd love to have a big TikTok. I'd love to have it, but I don't know if I can crack it. I don't know if I can. I have like 400 followers, just basic personal followers, just trying, kind of figuring out the algorithm and all this. But I think some dealers have cracked it in Ireland. They've got some big TikToks, and I think if TikTok's big in Ireland, if you can crack TikTok, you got a free audience.
You've got to almost have a second business then, though, haven't you? You've got to have like a media production company. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, it works, but you can, me and you or any of us folk would sit and put out content all day, every day, but it's got to be interesting, it's got to be fresh, and it's got to be unique, and it's got to capture people's attention. And you know, we try and do one podcast a week. You know, sometimes 2 podcasts a week, and it's like, are we capturing people's attention? I don't know. I think if people see any more, will they get really bored because we're not that interesting? I don't think
it's a challenge. I do think there needs to be a comedic element to Also, as well, I don't sell aspirational, sexy cars. I sell Kias, Hyundais. I sell paddy vans, rental traffic.
Comedy value. You've got to sell the comedy value, haven't you?
You know the way, if you look at Martin, if you look at like Instagram, like let's say you look at Tom Hartley's Instagram. Yeah, it's going to be very. Probably. I don't know what he's got. I can only probably guess he's got 500,000, 1 million followers or something, because he sells Lambos and Galados and aspirational Aston Martins and all the stuff. People, I'd love one of those. People love to go into Dreamland, looking at this, going, sitting on the toilet, maybe go, oh my God, if I won the lotto, I could. But the reality is, I sell Kias and Hyundais and bread and butter cars, and so to grow a big social media channel selling bread and butter motors is a challenge. Is a challenge, you know.
Yeah, and I think you could do it, but I think, like you say, you've just got to have unique, interesting, funny content consistently being pushed out, and to try and do that yourself and run a business, you know, and make sure the mechanics are in on time and are doing their work correctly, and your salesman's your salesman's taking nice photographs and speaking to every customer and all the rest of it that goes with it. It's hard. It's very hard.
It's not easy, and I think
that's why Scott's got about 476 staff. he's still stressed.
And they just bring them tea.
Yeah, we've got a new
Scott's got 3 people who just bring them tea.
And while Scott is busy in his office like this, he's in his office, he's at his laptop, and he's putting in, where can I dine this weekend?
Yes, that's exactly. Yes.
And if he looks at these cameras, and sees anyone slacking, he's got a link to a button which electrocutes that chair. Get back to work.
Back to work. Back to work, you minion. He's like Willy Wonka. He's got Oompa Loompas.
He's like, remember Danger Mouse? Remember the bad guy when he had the cat, he stroked the cat. He's not working.
And look,
do you not
challenges.
think the marketing changed, though? I'm saying, do you not think the marketing side of it in the industry has totally changed from? I mean, we're probably all of an age now where we remember before you even got internet, it was flicking through Auto Trader and the local classifieds.
I've been doing walk around. I'm not being funny, but I think I was the first guy in Ireland to do proper walk-around videos and vehicles online, because I didn't see anyone else doing it, and I started doing it because I'm from an ex-radio background.
Right.
So yeah, doing presentations and quick walk-arounds and stuff on the fly, no problem. And I started doing it, and but now I suffer from kind of anxiety and envy when it comes to seeing other dealers, the way they have their setups with their photo booths, their turntables, their sexy lighting. No dig at you now, Scott. Yeah, Scott's got a lovely Redgate Lodge has got this amazing turntable with the lighting. I'd love that. I've got probably a space issue. I've probably got a mental block when it comes to spending the money. I've probably got a lot of these things. I don't know if you suffer from these things, but these things that hold you back, and they shouldn't hold you back, but they do hold you back because of time or money or fear or these kind of mad things in your head that you're like, oh, will I do this? Oh, what if I do and it doesn't work out, or I lose money on it, or all these kind of things again that everybody in the trade goes through.
Of course.
Yeah, they do.
And I think sometimes, like, I'm a bit of a lone ranger in that I do everything. I run my business exclusively myself. Like, my wife helps me, but I don't have a management team to bounce ideas off. I remember when I worked in the radio business, I used to run radio stations. We'd have weekly management meetings, and we'd have this, kind of town hall and bounce ideas and stuff. I don't have that. Now, I do enjoy having full autonomy of running my own business, and there's no politics. I do what the fuck I like. I spend my money how I like. I'll deal with customers how I like. I'll do all these things how I like, because I do it bloody fucking good. I do it well. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to implement new ideas and push through things when you have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
But I really have limited delegation opportunity, because I'm not big. I don't have enough staff. But I actually have a weird thing, and I don't like employing people. I don't like being an employer. I find managing people a challenge. I'm not stingy. Like, I'll pay the wages, and I'll pay a good wage, but managing people is I remember years ago, a lady who I used to work alongside, she worked in Ryanair for Michael O'Leary. And she told me something which to this day stays with me. She says, Ollie, managing people is one of the hardest things you'll ever do in your business life. And I actually kind of poo-pooed it and laughed off the time. She's actually correct. Yeah. She worked with Michael O'Leary at director level. And she says, Ollie, managing people, and she's correct. You can manage cars, you can manage marketing, you can do all these things. People, and I had terrible trouble with I had one guy robbing off me, stealing oil out of the workshop and servicing cars at home. Bizarre.
No.
Turns out he had issues that I didn't know about. Mm. One of them was kleptomania, but crazy. But that's the motor trade. It's wild. Like some of the stories fellows tell you, like some of the stories on Car Sales Dealer Group. It's crazy. I've got to balance that as well. There's a great trade group in Ireland called Irish Motor Trade Association. It's ran by a good friend of mine, Ross Kavanagh. I'm a moderator admin there as well, with another guy called Mick Kenny. Shout out to Mick. Great Irish Facebook group for Irish guys. But there's one thing about the Irish group is that Irish guys in the car sales business are very insular. They won't talk the way they won't chat and talk, and it's like they're afraid of giving away trade secrets. When let's be honest, lads, there's no fucking secrets. Where's the secrets?
Yeah.
I found that.
We're not reinventing the wheel though.
Yeah.
When I first came in the trade, which was like 14, 50 years ago, before the groups and things like that, which was on social media, And if you ask traders, you know, to say, "Oh, which painter do you use?" and they'll be like, "Oh, I can't remember." Or where'd you buy these cards from? Or I won't tell you that. You know, and if they always kept their cards very close to their chest and they didn't really share anything, or you know, you could be pally with somebody in an auction, you might not see something on a car, and they wouldn't tip you the nod and say, "Hey, have you seen the other side of that car? It's all been bashed." You know, they'd let you buy it, and then afterwards they would say, "Yeah, I can't believe you bought that car. Did you not see the other side?" And it was always like, well, the Northeaster was anyway, and it was always like which is probably similar to Ireland. And then when the group started, there's a lot more people in the groups who would help each other, and they'd answer questions and be supportive and so on, which I think I might have turned it around. So in Ireland, are they still the same as what they were originally?
Yeah, I suppose there's a younger generation of guys coming through who are more open and they'll chat to you, but the old school guys, they're like that, Scott. They'll keep their cards close to their chest. It's like they're afraid to get one over them.
It is like that, yeah. I think it's the old school. I found when I came in, so you come in, you start from zero like yourself. You're up and coming, and then you'd hear all the little, giving her this about, oh, he's done this, or what she's bought that for, and haha, he shouldn't have bought that. And you get all the little digs because they're all like, there's a lot of gossips. And then when you get level to their level, they go quiet all of a sudden, and the thing, oh, well, actually, we've got a 50-car pitch, and so has he. So then they stop like with the little digs and the gossiping, and then it goes all quiet. And then when you go a little bit further on, all they come back out again.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. There's a dealer not a million miles from here, will not sell me stock. And I've asked them several times. And I bought a couple of units off them, but they won't sell me stock because it's like they don't want to feed you.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. It's like they don't don't let him grow his business.
Yeah.
He might turn out to be a competitor. Oh my God.
God. We got our MOT centre and brand new MOT centre. I got my new tester in, so we didn't have any MOTs, didn't have any traders and all that. And I'd support a few lads in the trade. I said, look, I'll do your cars. I think MOTs were £30 at the time. I said, I'll do them for 20. I'll just, as long as it covers the wage bill and the slot. If I can help you out, I'll do your MOTs. But nobody came, and it was just when I asked a few people in the trade because I was new to it. That was the answer. It was that they wouldn't want to be giving you profits. They wouldn't want to help you grow. Which I suppose
was it not because you were trying to charge people £150 for a tyre, for a £30 tyre?
On the flip side, what they're actually doing is they don't see the wood from the trees. Like that particular dealer, if they actually took their head out of their arse, right, and they went, "There's Ollie, right? He's fucking very useful." Because I tell you what, the way I operate is, and you're a straight shooter as well, Scott, because I'm going to tell you a story. Lads, I'm going to tell you a story about Scott in a moment. But the thing about me is I work very closely with a friend of mine called Barry Martin. Shout out to Barry, top guy. Barry's a main dealer and a very big, strong used dealer in the Midlands of Ireland. Left his sales job about 5 or 6 years ago in a large dealership and went out on his own and has had great success because he's a top guy. But I buy the majority of Barry's trade stuff. And I could spend $1.5 million, $2 million a year with Barry on trade stuff. And the way I operate, Barry WhatsApps me, he gives me a call, he describes a car, I'll take it. He tells me the price he needs, I'm in. I'll go, it'll be paid for, even before I fucking collect it, it's paid for. He's trucked down, we prep it, we sell it, we never argue. If there's an issue, we sort it out. Top guy. But he gets me, who is a registered trader. Everything is through what's called Motor Trans in Ireland through the Department of Transport website. Logbooks and all done right. I'm registered. He's registered. Everything's done banking. Everything is done properly. He's paid quickly. I get the cars quickly, open and honest, and it works perfectly for both of us. But I'm very valuable then to Barry as a buyer. Because because he knows he has an outlet for his stuff, and he gets his cash quickly. And I don't understand why the so-called local dealer wouldn't have the same mindset where, Jesus, Ollie could be very useful to us, And that's the way I operate. I will pay. I'm a strong pair, a quick pair, good to deal with, no messing around. The crack with Scott was, remember the time I bought the little van, Scott? With the lino in the back.
Yeah, the van.
Yeah. So Scott sold me a van, and it arrived over on the back of the truck all the way from the UK, and there was just an engine issue. And I rang Scott, and the fear is always when you buy stuff from the UK is that you're going to get shafted. You know, they won't answer the phone to you, they'll listen to your complaint, but they won't call you back or whatever. Scott actually took the van back, paid the transport both ways, and fully refunded me for the van. Now, you don't get that with many trade. I don't think, Scott, I've ever had such a decent guy as you.
To be honest, when it happened, Ollie, because obviously Stephen, he was putting the vehicles in Port-Ex Gold, and there was oil in the water tank, and you sent me a little video of your finger dipping it in. I say, oh fucking hell! And I spoke to Stephen. I think he just missed it, you know, and we spoke. We did a couple of voice messages, and I says, well, I'll pay for it at your end. We'll get a mechanic to fix it. But he said, it was a nightmare, and this was a nightmare, and it just wasn't worth. So that's when we said, well, look, you need your money back. It's not your fault. You bought it in good faith, and we've missed it. So I think by the time we paid the transport both ways, I think there's something else we had to pay. I'm sure that fault where a number of staff has missed cost me 1,200 quid, but that's not your fault. It's my fault, and that's the way how we operate. But you see the way we're still friends, and I would buy a car from you in a heartbeat. Yeah. And I would recommend anyone to buy a car from you in a heartbeat. Thank you. Yeah. Say, because Scott's a top guy.
But you see there, what you just described there, Ollie, is what we're trying to do with DealerWay.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're trying to do in digital form with DealerWay. Trying to find a big community of car dealers, because there's thousands of car dealers up and down the UK and Ireland, and and we all know there's some fantastic ones and there's some terrible ones, and we're trying to weed out the terrible ones and end up with a platform with dealers like yourself and like Scott, who like you're saying there, where I'd buy another car from who in a heartbeat, and that's what we're trying to do.
It's the bigger crowd that'll shaft you quicker. Like BCA tried to shaft me on an Astra years ago. I had a truck in and out of Ireland, and I used to go in the truck. It was a sleeper cab. I slept outside every BCA in the UK. I urinated into every bottle. I'm telling you now. And you know what? I was younger, but it was fun. But I had to do it because I had to grow my business. But I used to go to the UK in the truck, probably on a Sunday or a Monday, and spend 2 days and come back in on a Wednesday on the ferry with 7 or 8 vehicles, prep them and sell them and rinse and repeat every week. Hard work, but good fun. But I bought an Astra in Walsall, and it had a clear report, and it came over, and the gearbox was fucked. So I got on to BCA. They didn't want to know, what was the crack with them? It was it was the AA do the test, and I'm like, okay, the AA, great. And they drive the car from is it 30 yards up? I don't know. They have some nonsense. Like, they don't exactly drive around the corner. You know what I mean?
No.
So, and you're not going to hear a gearbox whine. Like, the gearbox was whining like an owl one. Like, it was. You're not going to hear that from here to 30 yards up the yard. You need to drive it around the corner. Bring it around the block. So they were like, no, we're not taking it back. So you are taking it back. They were like, no, we're not taking it back. You're taking it back. They're like, no, you own it now. I said, you're taking it back. No. So what did I do? I was going to the UK empty. I fucked it up on the back of the truck. I drove over. See, they didn't think I could ship it back over for free. Didn't bother me because I was going to the UK empty anyway. Up on the back of the truck, drove down through the night, got to Walsall, drove right through security, down the back of the yard, dropped the ramps, dropped the car, back up to security, said to the guy in the security hut, fucked the keys at him and went, get them to ring me. And I drove off. So later on the day, the phone rings. Walsall BCA here. Oh, how you doing? Yeah, there's a car here belonging to you. It's not my car anymore. It's your car. They were like, what? That's the car. Just put the money back in my account. They were like, well, so I told them the story. You're trying to shaft me, and you thought that you wouldn't get the car back from Ireland. You've got the car back now. It's in your yard. Send me back my refund. Do the right thing. I said to them, do the right thing. So then the manager rang me, and I told her the same story. And to be fair to her, she actually went, okay, hands up, we'll refund you. And actually, I think they gave me credit. I think they credited my account, and then I went back and bought a few more cars. But it's the big boys, it's BCA and the big boys that will shaft you the most, I find.
It's a bit like what you were saying before about what was the company called? Done Deal, where you were seeing that a little bit of arrogance about them, and I suppose BCA are a little bit similar. They think that we've got the majority of the market, and that you need us more than we need them, sort of thing. That attitude, and I think that's prevalent among some of these auction houses.
Only last year I bought a Tiguan all-wheel. It's meant to be an all-wheel drive Tiguan, and it arrived was a two-wheel drive. The hassle I had to get paid.
Yeah, that's horrendous.
Like, I bought a bloody four-wheel drive Tiguan. I didn't want a two-wheel drive Tiguan. I can buy them all day long in Ireland. I wanted the four-wheel drive one. I had a customer for it. And the hassle to get, and then they only gave me something like 400 quid difference, when in actual fact it was probably down 1,100 euro.
I bought a car, and it was they hadn't declared it was on the list. It had been an accident. Anyway, I was getting nowhere, so I got it raised, and I actually got the regional director who actually came to the garage, and he looked at the car, and then he invited me into the office of the auction, and he was like 2 from the top, as high as he could get. And anyway, we arranged that the car would go back through the auction. I said, well, all I'm bothered about, whatever left my account, I just want it back in my account. Yeah. I'm not bothered about how you do it. Anyway, I was short change for 900 quid. And I said, how come I'm short change here for 900 quid? He says, well, we took a hit as well. We took a 400 quid hit. He says, so because we've taken a hit, you're taking a hit as well. He's not there now. He ended up on garden leave, and I think they got rid of him, which was one. And then I had another situation where another car was in an accident. We bought the car, and it wasn't shown on their HPI, but it showed on Motor Check that it was in. So then I spoke to the auction. I says, look, this isn't appearing on Experian. And they says, oh, we don't use Motor Check. We prefer Experian. Why is that? Because Motor Check's a bit more thorough. So it's not very good for the vendor. It'll highlight more. And I was like, right, that doesn't help.
Never mind protecting the buyer.
Yeah, it doesn't help the buyer. So I says, well, surely I've got, I've paid my fees here for you to do your job and check these cards properly. They said, oh, well, we don't actually HPI everything as well. There are certain cards that go through the system because I haven't got time to HPI them all. I says, right, okay. I said, but we've still got this problem. So what we're going to do about this? And they says, oh, so all they do is backheel it to a different department. So they end up getting backheeled to customer services, who sent me this big, massive, long email saying that it was actually, in the terms and conditions of the auction, you have 3 days to raise a complaint around that kind of area. And it's my responsibility to HPI every car or Motor Check every car before I bid on them at the auction. So you can mark off 30 cars. They said you should be HPIing all 30 before you actually put your hand up to buy the car.
Yeah. They'll accuse you of not doing your due diligence. Yeah. And that 3 days thing, Scott, is bullshit for an Irish buyer. Right. Because, and I'll tell you another thing about BCA which really pisses off Irish buyers. Sorry to cut across you, Martin, but that 3 days bullshit, because when you buy a car in BCA, by the time you get it lifted and across the water, it could be 7 or 8 working days or 10 working days before it arrives in your yard, before you've even started to prep it. So your 3 days is gone, you're fucked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Another thing they do, which really grinds the gears of dealers in Ireland, is VAT qualifying vehicles that you can claim the VAT back on. So we have the right to claim back the VAT element on your purchase. So BCA is meant to give that back to you. So you apply directly to BCA, but they'll argue, oh, you can apply directly to HMRC yourself, which is a fucking pain in the rocks. But the process BCA make you go through, they're slow. I think they're purposefully slow, because there's no way. I know guys. I think I spoke to a dealer recently. They owe them something like $500,000 in VAT. And the Irish dealer guy says to me, I think they use us as a bank. They take that money and they use that money to lend out stocking loans to buyers in the UK.
Yeah.
And he said he said, I feel it's fraudulent, he says. But what can I do? So that you're kind of waiting for your VAT money to come back. They take 6 or 8% of that as an admin fee, which is too much. Yeah. It's like you feel it's like legalized larceny. It's just excessive. Then that's on top. That's after you've paid your buyer's fee, your online buyer's fee because you bought it online, your AA or your licking a promise fucking mechanical check. Yeah. You know, all this bullshit. Like, it's really expensive way to buy cars. And I know we're all margin hunters. All you want is you want a decent vehicle as described with no big headaches. And yes, stuff goes wrong, you deal with it and whatever, right? That's the business. But, you know, it's they put up so many roadblocks. Like, how can an Irish business suffer with, like, you know, I remember I was waiting for $8,000 in sterling to come back in VAT. And I was chasing them. And like, to me, $8,000's a lot of money. I'm a smaller dealer.
Yeah.
You know, even if you're a bigger dealer, $500,000 out there waiting for it to come back, it's a lot of money. You know?
And I haven't bought a car from them since before lockdown. So I rang up and I just touched base and I says, "Oh, it's me. I'm back," and all this kind of stuff. And it was nice to speak to them. And I was telling the girl on the phone about the charges. I says, "How does the charges work now?" And she says, "Well, it's the same as they were now. It's, you know, if you have a price value for that, the auction fees that, and if you buy a more expensive car, the auction fees that. You buy something for $20,000, the auction fee might be £600." I says, "Do you think that's wrong?" I says, "Because when you're driving that car through the auction hall, you're doing the exact same job, whether the car's a £2,000 car or a £30,000 car. Why'd you charge more on the £30,000 car than the £2,000 car? Because you're doing the same thing." And I says, and she was laughing on the phone. She says, "I think it's bad, like, isn't it?" And I says, "Well," I says, "I understand why they do it." And I says, "I get that." But I says, when you're talking about, you know, treating customers fairly, FCA, or, you know, all the rights and looking after customers and things like that, when they do that, should they not just have one standard fee for every car that comes through?
Look,
they're not regulated. They're not regulated.
The problem is they've got all the nice stock, haven't they?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it would be the same as dealer where, you know, if you buy and sell a car, it's £30. So it's like saying it's £30 if you buy and sell a car for 2,000, but if a car's 20,000, we're going to charge you £50. But people in the trade would just think that's just a rip-off. Why would you do that?
I think we need to have a conversation about dealer way working in Ireland, because there's no proper way, no proper platform for dealers to integrate and talk to each other and grow like-minded dealers, grow a trusted network of dealers through an app. That's probably a conversation we need to have down the road, Scott, where you could have a dealerway.ie presence. We can probably help you with that, but that's something that's probably back to BCA. Yeah, I was in Walsall. This goes back to Walsall. I used to go to Walsall and buy a bit of cheap stock. I remember being in the. This is just like small story, but it kind of demonstrates how mean they are. You know, how dogmatically mean they are. I went in to get a bacon sandwich in the cafeteria, and I think there was a problem. There was an invoicing problem. I bought a couple of cars, and then I went in to pay for them, and all the invoices in here and all this shit. And I said, "Well, look, can I just get them paid for? Because I want to get them on the back of the truck. Because I want to be in the ferry tonight at 9 o'clock. Because if I don't get on the truck, I got a 4.5 hour drive up to Holyhead. And if I don't make it on time, I'm going to miss the ferry. Then I don't get the ferry till 2 a.m. and it fucks up my day the next day and all this bollocks." So they were like, "Oh, yeah. Well, just go to the cafeteria. Go get a coffee. Go get it." So I went to the coffee and I went in. So I started to get a bacon sandwich. I got a bacon sandwich. They go and charge me for the bacon sandwich. So I just thought,
was the whole point of going physical?
You're like,
you got the free food.
Are you trying to charge me for the bacon sandwich? And they're like, well, it's £2 or whatever. And you're like, I suppose you're going to charge me for the ketchup, are you?
Ollie, I was at an auction. I'm not going to mention the names because last time I did, I got bored. But it was on social media. I put a post out. I shouldn't have done anyway. We kissed me up. But I was standing with the manager. Then I was leaving the auction. I bought 10 cars, and they stopped the free teas for the buyers in the auction.
Oh, I know which auction it is.
I said, right, free cars. It was getting a bit out of control. I said, look, when I go away and I stay in nice hotels, which I do, and that's my hobby. And so I said, if I was checking out that hotel and if I've charged, because I bought 10 cars, 400 quid a car, 4,000 quid. I said, if I charge to my room 4,000 quid and I check out, they're like, when are you coming back to stay, Mr. Sibley? When would you throw the car around with the front for you? And there's some coupons for you. And next time you come, we're going to upgrade your room. You get looked after in a different way. Yeah. And that one, it was just like, you're not getting a free cup of tea. Which is a free tea.
So I
remember saying to the girl, I says, I'm not even from your country. You have no idea how a nice bacon sandwich and a cup of coffee would be to me. How lovely a gesture it would be. But you charge me for a bacon bloody sandwich, and you're to blame for holding me up.
Wait a minute though, Ollie, was it a decent bacon sandwich though?
No, who's shit.
Stephen used to like
it wasn't Irish bacon.
He was.
It wasn't Irish bacon. It was some of that other terrible bacon.
Stephen used to like to go. I used to see sometimes back years and years ago. Stephen had bumped him up at Central car auctions, and they had the Central cafe, which was a bit
in Glasgow.
Yeah, it was a bit dodgy. And they serve in Scotland that square sausage. It's it's all mashed up.
It would have been blown.
And he used to order the sandwich. He said, "Oh, it's lovely. The square sausage."
The only reason I went to Central car auctions just for the square sausage.
Was that in Scotland?
In Scotland.
Yeah, I've never been up to, and the Irish guys are like terrified, and Irish buyers of. Tell you a funny story. A guy ran me. I got this really nice A3 saloon 2-liter TDI S-line, which is quite a sought-after car in Ireland in the used market because there's a lot of Jap imports coming. They're all petrols, but the Irish love a good diesel. And it's a really nice little car. And I know I sold it before, so it's a proper little motor. Got to trade it back in again. So I have it out for sale anyway. This guy rings me up the other day. He's from Dublin, Story buddy. This is the way they talk on the phone. How can I help you, sir? Well, that Audi there, that Audi. Tell me about it, will you? Well, told him about it, and he says, "Was that English, was it?" Yes, it was originally an English car. But we did a full data check on it, and it's all clear. Both sides of the water, it's all clear, and I actually know that car. It was owned by neighbours of mine, which it was, and it's been through our hands before. It's a really, really good little car. And he's like, "So it was English? I wouldn't buy that." He says, "No, fucking rotten underneath with the salt."
I actually had a car. It was when I was working at Mini, and the woman went, "Oh, love it, absolutely love it." And she went, "Can I have a look at the logbook though?" So get the logbook out. Yeah, look, one owner, and it was Scottish. Oh no, I cannot have that. No, I cannot buy that. Can I have a car that's been Scottish?
Well, to be fair, I would do that if I was a buyer, just a private buyer, and it was Sunderland. If there was Sunderland on the logbook, I couldn't buy the car.
Digging a hole.
But there's Irish buyers who are, look, there's rusty cars from everywhere. Doesn't mean every car is a rust bucket. But look, at one point, I think 70 or 80% of used cars in the used car market in Ireland were UK imports, because the Irish market never sells enough new cars to supply the used car market. We just don't. And the prices of new cars in Ireland is crazy. Anyway, like if you want to go off and buy I met a guy, I own a car wash. A guy came in a few weeks ago and he got his brand new Volkswagen Amarok 3-liter Pan America edition. Nice one now. You wouldn't drive a Scot. It'd be a bit impoverished to you. But guess how much he paid in euros for his new Volkswagen Amarok Pan America, including VAT?
40,000.
So I was going to say 60.
I was saying 60.
Higher.
Well,
72,000 euro.
Yeah, I wouldn't drive that.
I knew it.
No, you'd have a chauffeur driving it for you.
Yeah,
you wouldn't even give it, Scott. You wouldn't even give it to your wife. Let her drive it.
No, I mean it sounds expensive for what it is.
That's how expensive new vehicles are. If I know a guy who gets a new Sprinter every year or two, he's got a carpet business. He's a friend of a friend, and he orders a brand new Sprinter, twin wheel, 5-tonner, all the bells and whistles, auto, just specced out Sprinter. He pays like over 50 G's for it. For a van.
So all you cars in the UK, is there an advantage for you buying cars in the UK financially rather than just choice? Because going back to Central car auctions there, I used to speak to some of the Irish guys, and they used to buy a lot of cars in Central, put them on a big transporter, get 10 on a transporter, and they were there 3 times a week, and they'd ship them over, and they said that they would get more money for them in Ireland than what you would get.
Yeah. That was, look, I did it myself, Scott. That's how I built my business on UK imports. Right. And then I bought my own truck, small truck, and then I bought a bigger truck, an 18-tonner, and I could bring home 6 at a time. And then I had a good friend who still does work for us, Kevin White. And Kevin has trucks, 11-car wagons in the UK a few times a week. Pre-Brexit, it was huge business. Then Brexit happened, and it changed everything because you're effectively importing vehicles from outside the EU back in.
Right.
So it introduced extra duties and taxes. It introduced extra paperwork. It introduced a lot of just bullshit that we didn't need. And then it grossly affected the price of cars because they only went one way. Extra administration, extra paperwork, extra money. Then COVID happened, and it was kind of like all these detrimental things happened at the one time. Like I remember a guy from the west of Ireland said to me, a really good car dealer, he says, Ollie, if we must be the only business to put up with so much shit, and he's actually right. It was actually John Conroy. He absolutely right. He I don't think there was any other business that has dealt with so many barriers and obstacles with COVID, Brexit, regulation, extra this, extra that. Very difficult to navigate, but the FCA
as well. The FCA is becoming a thorn in everyone's side as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's not without its challenges.
Ollie, did you find out what with Brexit? I mean, I always think with Brexit, Brexit. There was a lot of good workers, from Europe who they went home, which caused a big shortage, like in our industry for the likes of mechanics, painters, things like that. Did that affect you in your area the same, or
still it's still a problem, Scott? Like there's a shortage of mechanics, there's a shortage of panel beaters, there's a shortage of valeters, there's a shortage of I think in every sector there's a shortage of staff. we have 96% employment in Ireland, 4% working. That 4% anyway are people who just don't want to work anyway. We've probably my view is that we've too generous a social welfare system. We don't give people a kick up the arse to work. But there's a shortage of staff. Brexit, look, COVID, Brexit.
Yeah, it's a bit linked, very similar effects. I mean, like mechanics. I mean, personally, I think mechanics were undervalued anyway.
Yes,
I mean,
yes, absolutely. I've spannered myself.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm a good mechanic. I'm a shit mechanic, but I've done stuff in the workshop and will continue to do so if I'm under pressure. And I think my brother is a technician, and I have friends who are technicians, and I always felt that they were taking the piss out of. Never got a fair wage.
And the skill set what they have, I mean, you get them. Yeah. They can pull, like an engine out of an X5. I mean, we've got like multiple techs. They pull engines out of Range Rover X5s. they'll get into all the pistons, they'll work out, and then cool them, and and that skill and that experience and how much you get rewarded for it was never enough, in my opinion. And then when lockdown came, and all of a sudden you could go and drive a wagon and earn 50 grand a year, that was turning the heads when you could understand why, because people would then leave the trade.
Yeah.
But I think what's happened now,
how deeply unfair is it? How deeply unfair is it when I heard of a main dealer, not a million miles from here, charging €129 an hour labor rate in his workshop?
That's cheap.
That's cheap.
120. Well, yeah, but I'm talking in Irish terms. When we charge 70, we'll probably go to 80 soon. €70 an hour.
Yeah,
we charge out plus VAT. But we don't do an awful lot of outside work. We tend to deal exclusively with our own car prep. But we do servicing for because I actually have a unique thing. It's gotten so difficult to get staff, and it's gotten so difficult to get everything done within 8 or 9 or 10 working hours a day, where I have to have a closed client book. People ring me all the time saying, "Oh, will you service my car?" I go, "Okay, I don't know you. Who are you now?" They tell me who I am. "Oh, have you bought a car or van off us?" "No." Okay, well, you're not on our client list. And they're like, "Oh, so you won't?" No, it's not that we won't do it. We can't, because we haven't got the available time and resources to take you on as a customer. Plus, you haven't dealt with us before. So, well, how do I get to be your customer then, Ollie? Well, probably 2 things: buy a car or a van from us, and then you're a customer and you have access to our servicing facilities, or someone has to die. and they can, most people laugh, like yourselves, most people laugh, and some going to go, "Well, what do you mean someone has to die? One of our existing customers has to die to create a space." And they're like, "Oh, well, that's not very funny." Look, it's just, I'm only having a laugh. No, we can't take you on. So because Scott, it's staff and time.
I think though, Ollie, because there's a shortage of mechanics, it's obviously drive the mechanics wage up, which I think it's probably now the guys now. I mean, you'd have a tech who in the UK who was on like, I don't know, 22, 25k a year. They're probably on now 40k a year, which is better. And and I think that's much more just about. I mean, we introduced a tool bonus where we pay our mechanics for the tools. I mean, I don't know whose idea it was in the motor trade that you employ a mechanic.
Oh yeah, you've got to buy all your own tools.
You work on my cars. Who thought of that?
When I set up my workshop, I bought a whole shitload of new Teng tools. We got top-down diagnostic from Grafton Diagnostic. Shout out to Grafton Diagnostic and Joe there. He supported us great. We got all new lifts and stuff. I invested heavily in my workshop because I want to do it right. Like any technician who comes here, my workshop's kitted out. Like it's like you were in the were you a chef, Scott?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, like was it the same where you had to bring your own tools to work if you were a chef?
No, that all the equipment, you shouldn't have to do any of that.
So why should a mechanic have to buy his own tools?
Another thing.
Buy your own pen.
Another thing with the mechanics is bonus. Right, and I think that's an insult to mechanics and people who are employed bonus related, because it's kind of like saying to the mechanic, right, if you come to work for 8 hours and we can invoice your work out for 8 hours, and you do your work for 8 hours, we'll give you a bonus. Well, I mean, why not just give them a bigger basic rate of pay?
Yeah,
and like if you're Morris on the tills or a checkout, you're working in a bank as a cashier, if you work 8 hours, you don't get a bonus for working 8 hours.
What I was going to say was there's a crowd's charging $129 an hour, but they're only paying average mechanic wages. Like if I was able to charge $129 an hour, I'd be paying my mechanics more. Like why not share the profit? Because if you share the profit, you're going to retain more staff, and you're going to attract more staff.
Yeah, because a lot of the after sales people. A lot of the after sales people tend to be behind, tend to stay, don't they? They tend to be in the same garage for a long time.
Yeah,
they tend to, and I think have they been taken advantage of over the years or what have you? And now it's time that obviously that they're not having that advantage taken. They can see the opportunities elsewhere that are more advantageous for them.
It's not just that. It's like it's also being a decent boss. Like, I like to treat people the way I'd like to be treated myself, with courtesy, respect, a bit of banter, joviality. You know, I like to think that my people come to work and they don't mind coming to work on a Monday or whatever. Like, I don't mind going to work on a Monday. Why should my staff mind going to work on a Monday? Like, you know, have a bit of fun. When you get a car sale, if you sell a van, just a bit of we got a car sale. Just a bit of banter, lightheartedness, make it a fun place to work, pay people decent, be a decent human being as a boss. You know, like, how hard is it to do that? Where I think that's why, you know, and also the living wage, like the cost of running a house, heating it, groceries, pay your mortgage, run a little car, big car, whatever you do. See the way through in big car for you, Scott. All these things, very expensive to live nowadays. Just very, so why not pay people fairly to live a decent life, to support their family, and just be fucking decent, you know?
I think staff retention's important, and that can actually save you. You know, I know we've all got friends in the motor trade, and they've always got big turnovers of staff, and it's whether they speak to them wrongly or they're not looking after them and they bounce, and then you've got to re-advertise, retrain up, get somebody settled in. So the retention part's key. I mean, one of my favorite departments is the valeters. We've got a great valeting team. I think there's 7 of them. They probably all get over. I was saying this to Stephen. I think they're either 30,000 a year or more. They've been with me for years. There's lads, they've been there 6 years, 7 years. Which valeters they can tend to bounce around a bit. But as far as the importance goes to the business, I mean, there's their last hand on that car, and they use, it is a skill what they do, you know, and the attention to detail and machine polishing to present that vehicle ready for photographs at the standard what they do. It's like really important. And I used to, when my office was where they are, I used to always spend quite a lot of time in there just sitting with them having a coffee and just asking, you know, how they are day to day, where sometimes they can be a little bit undervalued.
Yeah.
I think when especially when you're doing the aspirational stuff, the German marks and all, and the stuff that's probably 20K plus, prep is very key. And again, you nail it, Scott, on the prep, but also the presentation. Like again, I have envy when I see all the pictures of the turntables and the lights. Do you feel the hexagon lights are dying off a bit? Everyone seems to have them. Are they kind of? Well,
they were fashionable and everybody got the hexagons, but I couldn't afford them. So I thought, well, what could I do instead? So I bought 32 LED strip lights, and I got my electrician to make them into diamonds instead of hexagons, which actually works. The turntable, I bought that from Spinit. I was probably 2 years in the game, and my wife, she says, why are you buying a turntable? I think at the time the turntable booth was about 12 grand. And it was a massive investment. I mean, money in the business at the time were probably worth about 30 grand ourselves. We didn't have a lot of savings, so to put that investment in. But that at the time, I think turned a lot of customers' heads on, you know, the likes of Auto Trader to get your car to stand up.
Do you think that turntable and the lighting and the presentation has got you the sales that you wouldn't have got if you had to just pitch them outside or whatever?
I think so. I mean, you could argue with those strip lights because you can get I mean, if you want to really get into it, you could say that you can get a reflection of the strip light on the panel of the car. So people are going to be a little bit, you know, about it and negative, you could say. But we had a professional photographer, and he was taking some real close-ups where you would have like the wing where, you know, it kind of goes like that, and you would see like the strip light reflection might catch like the S-line badge and things like that. And he was using the lighting as a way to showcase it more, but having the turntable, and it's faster, you know, you can spin that around, take all your photographs from use a tripod at the front, remote control, and you just spin it like that. And then the guys do the video of the car. And I mean, Mark Thornborough was telling us in Auto Trader, they used our videos as a way to, you know, say that this was like good practice when they had the main dealers on. And they said rather than have music playing in the background, it was good that the human or a member of staff was actually talking through the car. It like added trust to it, which I think works well.
And WhatsApp, I think WhatsApp, like we use WhatsApp Business, as you probably do in your own business. But I think I was talking to a friend of mine who lives in Dubai, and he said everything in Dubai is done with WhatsApp. If you get a takeaway, WhatsApp. If you order your laundry to be done, WhatsApp. If you want to book a table in a restaurant, it's WhatsApp. And I think that's the way it's going to go. I'm going to do more WhatsApp kind of communication with customers, bookings, all sorts of. I'm just going to do WhatsApp, and move everything towards WhatsApp.
Ollie, you can advertise on Facebook.
Yeah. And WhatsApp does advertising now.
Yeah. So you can advertise like a Facebook ad for a car, and you can direct people to WhatsApp you. So they don't even have to send the website. They literally WhatsApp you. And you're right. Like WhatsApp is. I mean, like I keep seeing it all the time. Everyone's attention's there, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? On your mobile. And WhatsApp seems to be the place that everyone lives. I don't understand. I mean, I use WhatsApp, but I've sent text before. WhatsApp still. Don't know if that's me just getting old, but
last weekend I just played around with WhatsApp ads.
Yeah,
and it's very like Facebook.
Yeah.
So you set your daily budget, the amount of days, your demographic, your male, female, your age range, all of that. Yeah. And then it just targets people. So you could spend €7 a week, €1 a day, and I think it says I'll reach about 300 or 400 people per day. How would you feel though as a consumer getting a car ad driven to you on your WhatsApp?
You see, if I was a consumer and I wasn't looking for a car and I just got car adverts, then it's no use of ornament to us. But the best way to do that is I don't know how much you know about online advertising and Facebook pixels and what have you, but what you should be doing is if you should have a Facebook pixel on your website. So it basically tracks every single person that comes to your website who is logged into Facebook. And what would then happen is that pixel will then follow you around the internet, so it knows who you are and it tracks you, like your cookies and what have you. So when someone's clicked on your website, you can see to WhatsApp, right, I only want you to show people an ad that have clicked on my website.
Okay.
And WhatsApp's owned by Facebook. Their WhatsApp number is integrated into that Facebook. So they know.
That would explain why the ads are very like Facebook.
Yeah. So they would know. They obviously they share the data, so they would know that you've clicked on, someone's clicked on your website, and then let's say they've landed on your site and they've says, they've had a look at an Audi A4 and they've spent 15 seconds on that page, and your other pages they spent 2 seconds on or 3 seconds and they've clicked off.
My concern is
you could target those people with that call inside the WhatsApp.
My concern is that will I alienate and annoy people by shoving out WhatsApp ads?
No, I don't think so. I think people, especially in like a WhatsApp platform where they're not expecting an ad, they'll just think, oh, it's an ad. And if they're not interested, they'll not even see it. I'm saying not even see it. They will see it, but they'll just ignore it. But somebody who's actually physically clicked on that car before, and they might recognize the car and go, oh yeah, right.
I'm going to give it a go.
I don't know about you, but there's been a few times when I've been like, let's say I'm looking for a pair of trainers or something, and I'll click onto a website, whether it be JD Sports or whatever, or something, and then I'll like, oh, should I? No, I'll not bother. And then, a week goes by and I forgot about it, and then I'll be showing an ad again, whether I'm on a different platform, Instagram, or I get an email or whatever, and the ad shows me the exact same thing I was nearly going to buy. That's what the Facebook pixel is tracking you info, and I've actually converted from receiving those messages. I'm like, I actually go on, I'll click that one. Yeah, I'll get them now. I do actually fancy them. I'll have them, or they might hit with an offer. See, you can buy these for 10% off now, and that might be the switch that you needed to do it. And car sales is sort of behind that, behind the times really when it comes to sort of e-commerce. Clothes and jewelry and fashion lead the way in it. It's all coming into car sales now.
What about? Did I see something about 3D interior scan? The way these people have these 3D scanners when they go to sell your house, they come and they take 3D pictures of your house and your living room and your kitchen. But is there a way? Is that coming into car sales now, where there's going to be like you put a picture between your headrests and it takes this 3D thing of the interior?
I think we've already had that, and I don't think it was done very well. I think do you know who done that? Remember Imperial Car Sales?
Yes.
No, they had done that.
Little tripod on the armrest of the car.
It didn't look great. It was all distorted, wasn't it? And like
what I don't like with some of the AI stuff is, and some people do it much better than others. And Stephen, you showed me yours works, and yours was like wow, like really good and sharp. Where he uses AI instead of having a turntable to put the cars on.
Oh yeah, I want to explore that. That. I've been trying to find a really good background remover.
Yeah.
But Stephen, they're not perfect.
Well, that's what I was going to say. There's some of them who the shadows on right. It looks like the car's false where it is, and if you're going to put an image on to showcase your vehicle, which looks false, does that give an opinion about the dealership being a bit false? It's a bit like a dealership where you can go on the website and say the stock cars from say £3,000 to £7,000, and that's the like budget dealer. But the big showcase on the website Ferrari, it doesn't match.
Do you know what I mean? I know. I agree with that. For me, it's like I don't sell the flash, but there is the argument then, Scott, that look, this is about getting boots on the ground at your dealership. That if you can get the customer on front of the car, then it's your salespeople's job or yourself to sell them. They've been sucked in by the sizzle. Now's the time to sell them the sausage. So it's if you, and then of course the test drive, build the desire, build the deal, close. So I suppose if the marketing can just get them, I suppose if you want to get distance sales where people just buy online and deliver without actually physically driving the car, that's a challenge. But having said that, during COVID, we sold we sold every single vehicle for a number of months online without a test drive, without physical inspection. We delivered them at night, safe distance and all that nonsense, and we never had a warranty matter back. Boom. So it works.
Ollie, it does work. My business, everything's done online. Every single car we sell is sold over the phone. I mean, not every car is delivered to the door. A lot of people, the first time they'll see the cars when they come to collect it. We'll do a lot of local stuff, but everything is done over the phone. I mean, 6-7 years ago, we used to appoint people and they used to come down to site, and obviously we'd deal them then. But obviously we're 100% finance, and all the deals are just done e-sign over the internet, over the phone. And when we use the AI, the backgrounds and what have you, and the software that we use is sort of like developed in house, and it's good. Like what we use, it looks good. We've never really had a problem, but sometimes I've thought, that AI photograph makes that car look a lot better than what it actually really is. So, and then they'll turn up and like, oh, is this the same?
Car looks better online.
But that's the same as having like a big glossy website, and then when people turn up, and we used to be in Bedland, we had like a unit on industrial estate, so the website looked great, and then people turn up, they're like, oh, I don't like the look of this place, I'm off. So then you'd be there thinking, well, I thought somebody's come to see that car, I wonder what happened to them. They didn't turn up, and we used to be like at the back of the industrial estate, and it was like not a nice estate, and we often wondered, did people drive down there and think, oh, I don't want to buy a car from here, I'm off. And talking about, we have a sales meeting with the sales team. We've got 7 sales execs we're talking about the other day. And there was a post in the car sales dealer group only a few weeks ago. And somebody had mentioned about getting £5 commission for selling a car. And it got a lot of interaction, this post. And I was going to comment, and I thought, I'll get shot down if I do. But the thing is with technology and websites, where it was different years ago where you had to sell a car to a customer. Now, with like speaking from us,
pre-sold.
We've got 100
pre-sold. Yeah.
For the video. The descriptions there with all the intervals of the service, who we bought the car from, the whole lot. So when the salesman answers the phone and somebody says, "Oh, can I put a deposit on that car?" I feel like saying, "Well, how much commission do you actually want for that?" Or if somebody actually walks into the showroom, father and daughter, I'm here to see the Mini, and they say, "Oh, come and have a seat," and they say, "It's got the chili pack, yeah, we know. It's 2 owners, yeah, we know. It's got 7 service stamps, we know. We just want to have a look in the car." How much commission do they want? And I was saying to the lads, I says, where they are, you go to McDonald's and I'll have one of them, and one of them. Is that coming for technology for the future? And, you can go and hire a car now. You go to the airport and you pick your car up. You put your details in. There's a key that you just pull the key out.
Yeah.
Been tried and failed. There was Evans House tried it. Evans House tried that model. It was, I can't remember who the owner who ran Evans House at the time anyway, but he had decided, he brought it from America and they ran it at Stonygate near Russ. And basically what would happen is customer would come in, there would be they go, come in, go and have a wander around and what have you, and look at the cars. You'd come back, there'd be a tablet, right? Put your details into the tablet. The salesperson they weren't salesperson, they were customer service representatives. They would then put their details in, put the part exchange in, and I think a business manager got involved that actually faxed through the part exchange appraisal to wherever. Yeah, it obviously went off to Central. Central would then look at the photos and look at the part exchange appraisal and go, right, this is how much the car's worth. And then it would be a case of going back to the screen and they could tailor their finance themselves. I think it was losing £250,000 a year, something like that.
Sometimes though, for salespeople, sometimes I don't think the salesperson sells the car. I think the salesperson sells the payment or the finance or the sell all the not so much that. Just any sort of any questions that a customer's got or any what's the word?
Because it has the customer kind of knowledge because they've got their tablet at home or their smartphone. Pretty much they've done all their thinking and investigation and research about us, and they've spoken to Bob at work and Paddy down the pub, and it's what are those cars like? Are they good? They're good. Any reliability issues? Yeah. So then it's like, well, we're going to fucking buy one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then it's go in and it's about how much it's going to cost me every month, what warranty you giving me, what spec has it got, and of course how much for cash and all the usual nonsense. But yeah, I think most people who come here have done their thinking, done their negotiate, or done their research. Mm-hmm. They've looked online, they've watched the YouTube videos, and
they probably know more about the car than the salesperson.
Yeah,
the thing is, it's still then on your salespeople though, because the maybe's be going to right. I want to focus, and the maybe seen a focus at Ollie's, a focus at Scott's, and a focus at mine. And so we're going to go and see these 3 focuses, and then that's where your salesmen come in. And
I've always said there's 3 things.
But people, and I firmly believe this in Ireland. I don't know if it's the same in the UK. You can tell me, but people buy from people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Customer service.
Just want to say that there's 3 things: is do they like the car enough to buy it?
Yeah.
Do they like the person they're buying it from?
Yeah.
And is it the right fit? There's only 3 elements in the sale.
I've had people say to me, when they're kind of more relaxed after they've done the deal, this kind of like this post-sale relaxation time in your office where they're like, I've got the deal done now, pressure's off, I can kind of relax. When's my car going to be ready? But they say to you, I knew I was buying that car off you, Ollie, when I rang you. They got that when I'm quite good at chatting to people on the phone, and I like to roll movies in their head about their new car, even before they bought it. But they're kind of like, I knew from watching the video, Ollie, and I knew from talking to you on the phone, I was buying the car.
Yeah,
I think,
trust.
Good, yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
I think if any salesperson can do that, I think they'll sell lots of cars. I think. Yeah. And I always say to youngsters and young people entering the trade, remember, people buy from people. Mm-hmm. especially, you know, in America, when what they call the greenhorns, they'll say to them when they start, here's the mantra, get it in your head. People buy from people who remind them of their friends. Mm-hmm. That's what the Yanks do. People buy from people who remind them of their friends. And it's true. If you have a pal selling you a car and everything works, the payment is right, the price is right, this is right, that's right, color's right. Where's the problem? It's going to happen.
Yeah.
The thing is, going back to what you mentioned earlier about TikTok, Ollie, if you're creating a following on TikTok, if you were to put videos out every day on TikTok and your personality and about cars and car related, but it was all about you, your personality and showcasing who you were, then eventually someone who's going to be following you think, right, well, I like Ollie, I love his videos, I love his content, I like him as a person. I don't need a car now, but I'll forget about that. But in a year's time, when it comes to buying a car, he's seen loads of videos for a year and he's been following you, and he might have went off you for a little bit, and then all of a sudden he'll be like, oh, I need a car. Oh, remember that one I used to follow on TikTok, and they'll go out search you. Oh, I'm going to buy off him. And they'll come to your site. Yes, that when you see people buy people, that's the digital way of buying off people. The problem that you get is if you get like a big following like that, and you're like the face of it, you've got one person who's the face of it, they're coming down expecting to buy a car off Oli Brady. Oli Brady's got 7 salespeople.
Yeah,
like, oh, well, Ollie, and like, oh, Ollie's away.
Yeah, no, you're dealing with someone, and I know,
and then you lose that sort of facade on. Oh, so I'm not buying off Ollie. Oh, so it's just another call.
So do you kind of, Scott? Do you kind of hover around your salespeople when they're doing a deal and go, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Scott. Good to see you."
No, I don't do that. And if there's any like corporate kind of photographs you have to do, like a team get together, something like that, I'm at the back. I'm not like the main man. Look at me. I'm always at the back of every single photograph. And if there was, I've only started doing these podcasts obviously because we discuss them and doing them, but I would never be confident in chatting on these type of things or doing interviews or anything like that. No, I'm behind the scenes.
Does Redgate Lodge do TikTok?
Yes, well, to be honest with you, we're a bit behind the times. I've just started a new marketing manager, so he's getting the TikTok account going. We do Instagram, Facebook. Facebook, we've probably got about 65,000 followers, which was started back in the day. Like I got in quite early. And then the sales team, they're great. A lot of most of the sales lads, there's about 1 or 2 not comfortable doing it, but they're doing a video of a car just to walk around with the car. And at the end, they're saying, my son does them, so they say, call me William. This is my number. Or if you want to email me, it's will@Redgate Lodge. And I've told them all, I says, the more people see you on the videos, then getting back to what you're saying, and your face is there, your personality, the trust, and they'll look and think, oh, he seems like a nice lad. I'll buy that, or when I contact the garage, I want to ask for William. Yeah. So I said, by doing that, you'll naturally get inquiries coming directly to yourself. And the lads who don't do that, they'll probably scrape up they might fall onto some natural ones. But in general, if you get yourself out there more as individuals, that you'll get a following for it,
Yeah. Listen, Ollie, we're like running out of time here. So
that's why I was going to do the shameless plug.
Oh, sorry, go on, shameless plug. Go on.
If you're a car dealer in Ireland and you want a proper warranty, self-funded solution, and you don't want to deal with greedy warranty insurance companies anymore, that's what I call them, the greedy warranty insurance companies. Because there's 2 in Ireland. One is a Spanish crowd. The other is a spin-off of the Spanish crowd. We're Ireland's first and best self-funded warranty system where you grow your own warranty fund. My wife and I run this called Motor Shield. So if you're a dealer in Ireland and you're watching this, and indeed if you're in Northern Ireland, give us a shout. Go to the website motorshield.ie, and we'll sort you out with the best warranty solution for your business.
Sounds good.
Plug ended.
We might even get you back on at some point and talk in depth about warranties as well.
Yeah, that would be good.
Might help.
Warranties always, as we all know, warranties always a headache.
Yeah.
But if you turn a warranty on upside down, warranty is a great selling point.
Cool.
Yeah. And it gets you extra sales through confidence, and you can actually profit from warranty as a business, but you can get more sales. I'm tired telling guys, the way you read an ad and it goes at the bottom, oh, warranty's at the bottom. Put the fucking warranty up the top.
Yeah.
Because customers want to see the top. And it's not a dirty word. It's only a dirty word when you have a claim when you're spending money on fixing cars for people that you didn't envisage. But use it as a sales tool at the top. It'll get you more sales. If you
want to buy a car, know what happens. What have you got in place if this car goes wrong? Have you got your own workshop? Do I get a warranty with the car? Because people don't have to know that car's failed. So that's it's like one of the headlines. What support, what aftercare do you offer?
It's one of the main
Ollie,
questions.
just quickly. You touched on it ever so slightly before about the car sales dealer group, the Facebook page, Facebook group rather, that you're a mod in or an admin. Can you just tell a little bit about that, about how you got involved in that, and just where you see that kind of thing going?
It's just 6 or 7 years ago. I was invited. I got an invite request. I went in and I quickly realized it was all UK guys, some Northern Irish guys, not many, hardly. I think I'm the only Irish guy there, but that was pre-Brexit, so I was buying cars in the UK. So it was a great way to network and kind of get to know people and buy some cars. And I bought loads of cars off members. Bought cars of Jamie, Eddie Rawson, Gary Wilkinson, Scott, all sorts of. You just basically, it's a great way to network and get to know people. Great banter. It's a great 10 minutes away from having a cup of coffee. Hey, I'll just have a quick look. It's a great way to offer advice.
Yeah,
it's a great way to find out what's going on. I find the Auto Trader conversations amazing. The way, Jesus Christ, some of the numbers, guys paying 14, 15 grand a month. You know, is that 50 or 15?
15. And I've cut my package back a little bit because of prep, trying to keep up with the prep. So we were advertising cars which weren't prepped. The one site had the first arrival image, but they weren't fully prepped. So, we've trimmed it right back now. So it's helped, but it is expensive. But it's
180 grand a year, Scott.
Yeah.
Ollie, we spend nearly 25 a month on Facebook.
I found out last week, which I didn't know this. We spend over £800,000 a year with Europarts.
Imagine.
And then we've got the other part suppliers, tyre suppliers.
Yeah.
As well.
You must get loads of points. You must have loads of vouchers at the end of the year.
That's what all the restaurants.
You know what?
All the restaurant vouchers.
No, we've got an arrangement, but we don't get points. We get like a rebate.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we
get
always rebate, and they brought the point system in, but I don't bother with the point system.
How much do you spend on tires?
I don't know. I didn't ask. I would imagine it'd be quite substantial. Yeah.
Valeting products?
Again, it'll be quite a lot. We use AutoClean, so it's not the cheapest.
They're not cheap.
It's good. Yeah, it's always good.
Like when you look, it's relative to your turnover and your margins, and we all run our businesses differently. But I think it's a real eye opener for customers when they try and ask you for what's your best price for cash. If they knew the fucking level of costs and input we put into.
I was saying that to the other day. The lad just says the cars pretty much sell themselves, which they agreed. The way we display everything on the website and the way we do everything, and they're a great team, and they understood. And I says, what we want to do, it's value-added products, what we sell, it's speaking to a customer about a warranty. These are the benefits. These are the benefits about finance, and this is how it all works. I says, that's what we need to be doing. So I says, and we've got a Facebook, a WhatsApp group where we sell a car and we'll put all the details in, So if they put a car in which is cash no bits, there's no added value to it, and that car might have £600 profit in it. And I said, we've had to buy that car and send a transporter right the way down the country to pick it up, do the paint, do the mechanics, do the marketing, the photographs, the whole lot for £600. And to prep that car right to that good standard, there's loads of cars, sometimes there's less, but you don't want to put a car out wrong. You want to make sure it's right. So you've got to rely on sometimes, if that's the business model, for extra products to pull it around.
Absolutely.
I said if you put the group, which is cash no bits, you need to hide.
You wouldn't have a profitable business just working on car margins alone.
No,
you just won't.
That's where the is.
Ollie, we ask everyone that comes on to give a little bit of advice for someone in the Dealer Way group and the Dealer Way community that's maybe starting out. If you could give any advice to anyone in the motor trade, what would that be?
Structure. I think if you can be so busy starting out or setting up, or you can be a busy fool in this business. Basically, you can be a busy fool. I think we've all done it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think if you take a day away or half a day, or even go on a good training course, or try and get winged by a good mentor who's done this. Like I'm self-taught and everything, and I think I do find the older I get, I'm 50 next month, that people kind of contact me out of the blue in the trade, and they ask me for my advice and my angle on things, particularly if they're having a warranty matter with a difficult customer, or they have a court matter. They're going to court. Oh my God. And they must view me now as an old head who's done it. And I've had pretty much, I've been to court, and I defended myself on small claims matters. I remember a guy brought me to court on a TPMS sensor worth €38. €38 brought me to court. But that's the, but I've never been to court over something major, never. I think I say to anybody is structure how you do your business, watch your costs, have a plan, have a little growth plan. Don't try not to borrow. If you need to borrow cleverly with low risk. And I made the mistake last year of buying a car I don't normally buy, and I still haven't sold it. In fact, I gave it back to a friend of mine. He's trying to sell it for me now. Only buy what you know sells. Don't buy. I don't go off. I made that mistake last year on a Fiat Panda. I always buy Kia, Hyundai, Audi, Ford, Caddies, Traffics, and Berlingos and Partners, and that's my bread and butter. Mm-hmm. I think that's the advice for anybody. Smell what sells and rinse and repeat, and be fucking good at it. Look at what other people do really well and try and do it better than them.
Yeah. Don't try and reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. And also have fun, because if you don't have fun, you won't enjoy it, and you won't enjoy the journey, and you won't grow because you get fed up with it. I think you have to have fun. Definitely have a bit of fun, and also take your time off as well. I think it's important to take a holiday. I think it's important to take a digital detox at the weekend. I don't answer my phone on a Sunday. I will not answer my phone on a Sunday. No. I think that's important. I think you need to have a day away.
Can I ask one last question, which isn't motor trade? Guinness. Guinness. Over here in the northeast, they have blackcurrant in Guinness. Is that a sin in Ireland, or is that accepted?
Some people do that. I've actually virtually stopped drinking. I was never a big drinker anyway, but now I kind of pretty much stopped drinking. I think I'm old and bored. I don't even go out anymore. It's too expensive, too much hassle. The Guinness thing, I think, back to social media. I think social media has made Guinness very much so in vogue again, where it was an old man's drink.
Yeah, it's popular now.
It was an alcoholic drink. It really was. I think
love a Guinness Zero.
Yeah. Oh no.
Love a Guinness Zero.
No.
I'm like yourself. I don't really drink anymore, so Guinness Zero is the closest thing.
At least you can jump in the car and go.
Yeah, that's a difference.
Yeah, I think blackcurrant in it. Yeah, I've had a blackcurrant in a Guinness, Scott. It's fine.
It's all right to accept it. I didn't know if it was like not the done thing in Ireland, but I know they do it over here.
I think
you're in Ireland, they just charge you 12 quid for a pint.
Yeah.
British beers, nah.
No good.
Nah, I bitters and all, nah. I think the Germans and the Irish are good at beers, and the Dutch. The British are great at other things, but beers, no, not sure. Ciders, they're okay. Ciders, they're okay with ciders. But I think every country has its kind of they're really good at certain products.
Yeah.
You know, like the Dutch are you know, the Dutch are good at beer and tulips and all that, flowers and all that, you know.
Bacon as well, Dutch bacon.
Right, guys. I think we've run a bit off piece.
The best bacon.
I think we've run a bit off piece. And on that, I think we'll end it.
Bacon sandwich. But whatever you do, don't go into BCA expecting your free bacon sandwich.
Ollie,
get it.
Ollie, thanks for your time and your company. You've been excellent. Really appreciate you coming on, mate. Smashing. Cheers, everyone. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you.